Hi and welcome to the Specific Ask. आज मेरे साथ एक handsome young man है. His name is Hriday Soin and he's a junior officer at the Merchant Navy. We are going to talk about his profession, the goods and the bads, and the learnings along with it. Hi Hriday, thank you for your time and thank you for coming around to talk to us about what you do. क्योंकि एक there's this mystique and intrigue around the kind of profession that you have.
Yeah.
Navy सुनते ही वैसे भी हमारे सबके मनों में कुछ अलग तरीके की फीलिंग आती है. There's a lot of respect there. Is there a study and how did you start? कैसा आपका जर्नी था? कितनी मेहनत लगी है इसके पीछे आपकी?
So I started in 2018 and I underwent training for 1 year, and then I was sponsored by a company, one of the top shipping companies in the world. It's Mediterranean Shipping Company, and we undergo onboard training. So all the jobs we go on board, going around that, and under the chief officer. So we learn all the things, and then we are eligible to give the exams.
तो इसकी कोई ग्राउंड स्टडीज भी होती है पढ़ाई?
1 year of ground studies.
Which is the classroom program.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, and then you go to the ship and then you train.
Yeah.
वो कितना लंबा होता है?
That's at least 18 to 24 months.
Okay. In that time period you have to achieve a certain level of certification. या
Yeah,
कैसे?
in that 18 to 24 months, you need to complete that ASAP between the 5-year period. So the 5 years should not extend, and between that period, you need to complete that so that.
There's a time foundation.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Glamorous life, good life. You get to
I
travel a
call
lot.
it glorified prison.
It's glorified prison.
Yeah, totally.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, जैसे people portray here, oh, merchant navy है, oh, what a big deal. So it was the same for me also. But when I went on board, I was shocked to see how things work here, and how this many, it's like another political thing there. So how it goes around ki some people are there, and some people you have to stay away from, and it's all what do you call it, daily soap going on board itself.
Although the drama is so much that you're calling it a daily
Yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah. Even the work and all is still there, but there are some people who are the pain in the neck any time of the day.
You said training चलती है, तो वो कितने levels आपकी क्या क्या ranks होती हैं पहले वो बताएंगे आप?
So first we start with deck cadet, then when you complete that tenure, we appear for second officer's examination. Then we get second officer's license. Then ranks go as from deck cadet we go to third officer, then second officer, then chief officer, and the highest level in this is captain. There also exists something called extra master, which is only applicable theoretically, and just some people who are geeks in that they want this extra master qualification, which is of actually no use. I'm seeing this, and the system which is going on here in India. So that's how the hierarchy goes.
तो इस तरह की hierarchy बाहर नहीं होती है दूसरे देशों में?
बाहर होती है, but it's much easier and much sorted outside. I'm also currently appear for this second officer's examination. I'll probably a second mate in next 2-3 months. But here the process and how the the department, the shipping department works, it's very it's difficult to work upon. I mean, you living something there on the ship, and again here coming back, you have to face the same difficulties. At least it should be easier for the people out there who are actually away from the family. So it must be easier. Like in UK or in Australia, you see the process is quite simpler. Here, it's still that 90s ka process is going on. You need that photocopy documents, all self-attested. So this whole file you have to attest and all that. So it's a bit of a hectic scene.
So you're saying कि अभी भी हम मतलब traditionally थोड़ा सा पीछे हैं अपने rules को लेके?
We are way behind than other countries. Like in UK, I'm probably assuming that I'll go to UK for my chief mate exams, but definitely not from India.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, totally.
Because the process is too tedious?
Too tedious.
Okay.
I mean, it's very difficult. First, you have to go some course for 10 months, and it's not easy going from, traveling every day 100 kilometers just to study something which you already know. I mean, why this theory thing and the practical thing is different? I don't understand that. And still, what I'm studying even right now, the practical application is not there. I mean, we have this electronic chart display information system on which all these paper charts are synchronized into. So everything we have there digitally, and they say that it can fail, and okay, it can fail, but the power backups that we have at least 3-4 power backups. First, the main engine is there, then the power generators are there, many other, an emergency generator is there. So that's least likely to occur. but and there are several systems, even the radar and many systems are there, so it's much likely to not to fail. But still, what we are studying here, very traditional way, that went on in the 70s when this occupation was there, and there was no means of electronically seeing charts. We need to take the star positions and all. We used to navigate to the through the stars only. So now, even now, that's still going on. Even with the exams and all, we have this subjective examination. So that's too much to take.
Is it the systems which have not upgraded in India, or is it the thinking which is not adaptive, or
Both, I'd say.
oh, is it?
Yeah, both.
So we are still running with old ships, we are
Yeah,
still
yeah,
running with
yeah.
old
Good.
systems, and we are still running with primitive thinking
India.
in India. I'm talking about India only.
Yes, but I work with a foreign going ship.
Right.
So that's not a problem there. But in India, even the people who are coming ahead in the department, they are also oldies. So you cannot expect the system to change in a much swift manner.
But maybe their experience is needed.
Their experience is needed, but someone who is for this generation and the people who are coming up, those might also be needed in synchronization with them.
So new world problems need
Yeah,
new
yeah,
world
that's
solutions,
correct,
and you
that's
can't cure them with old. Okay, I get it. Evolution is needed, right? Okay, great. आप जब कह रहे हो कि मैं बाहर जाकर एग्जाम दूंगा UK, right? So don't you think it's going to be more expensive for you to do that?
It's gonna be expensive, but peace of mind comes with a price.
Yeah, and the
And
processes are similar.
here you cannot pay for the peace of mind. So
I know a lot of pilots, like commercial
yeah,
airliners जो उड़ाते हैं. Bunch of them train outside. They don't train in India, and maybe the reasons are similar for them. Equipment भी शायद
Yeah.
updated है.
totally,
Systems and processes are
Totally.
in place.
very easy.
Do you have to
Very.
pull a lot of strings to reach somewhere in India?
Oh, definitely. I mean, Pele it was a lot of crowded in between 2000 to 2010, and no one was actually thinking of getting into this. But there was sudden spike from 2012-13 that there were less companies and a lot of people for them to getting into that.
Okay, so there were a lot of job applications
Yeah.
that went in. Okay.
So that's how they increased the number of ranks in between, which
Okay.
officially does not exist. That's only there with the company. So for second officer, they created junior second officer, which actually there aren't any ranks as such. वो बना दी गई है because of such crowding thing.
Yeah.
And
Everybody needs to be they need to feel
Yeah.
valued, तो हर किसी को value दे दी गई है. I know a lot of people who train outside. वो इंडिया में नहीं करते ट्रेनिंग. US चले जाते हैं, अफ्रीका चले जाते हैं, साउथ अफ्रीका में कर रहे हैं लोग.
Same reason I told you I'll go outside and
तो
give exam.
वही ना. So I was just trying to understand कि the processes are probably
Yeah.
similar or simpler there
Yeah, exactly.
compared to India. Great. Okay. प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूशंस या गवर्नमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं ऐसे, या दोनों होते हैं जो ट्रेन करते हैं आपको या पढ़ाते हैं?
Yeah. So this is the private institutions and the government institutions. They work in conjunction with each other.
Okay.
So you get training from the private institutions to give exams at the government institutions.
Okay.
So that's how they are interlinked to each other.
तो इसकी कोई डिग्री होती है, डिप्लोमा होता है?
Yeah.
क्या
So
बोलते हैं इसको?
first, if you start with, you get a diploma in nautical science, then you get a bachelor's in nautical science, and that's only if you need it, then you appear for those exams, and then you get the degree. But we get this license which is there. That's sort of a blue and orange passport.
Okay.
So that's called a certificate of competency, which is there as a license. So if you have that, that's equivalent to a degree.
Yeah.
Even if you go UK and all, so that they consider that level what you've studied. Our studies are very difficult to go through.
Okay.
So
You need physics and maths?
yeah, we need physics, chemistry, maths in from 11th and 12th, and
Somebody with a commerce background cannot do this?
no,
उनको eligibility नहीं होगा?
It's not eligible only. I myself dropped 1 year. I got good marks in it. I didn't realize I was too much into theater and stuff. I didn't realize any marks in PCM. So I got I got 95 in English, I believe, some 92 something in IT, and I was about to go to my training in 2017, but I scored less in PCM and I had to drop 1 whole year. And just to get, I just got rebellious that I'll do it and I'll just show it that I can do it. So I dropped 1 year.
Why did you choose this profession? मतलब क्या expectations थी profession से, और आपने क्या सोचा था इसको choose करने से पहले?
So expectations always hurt, okay?
हाँ, वो बताओ
For
पहले आप.
sure. So expectations always hurt. So it's like there's this girl. Okay, you take this merchant navy thing as a girl. So you get you आप बाहर बाहर से देखते हो. So you get infatuated with that. Oh, that's so nice. And such a, even when I talk to people, when I went for interviews and all, so they asked me, what do you want? I was like, oh, it's such an adventurous life and all that
Navy
stuff.
is a very noble.
Yeah, even Navy, like, all I think is, girls and all would be all there. And
You're a man of
yeah.
uniform, you're
Yeah,
handsome,
yeah.
you're good looking, right? So
Yeah.
a man in uniform looks great.
Sure.
तो बहुत डिमांड हो जाएगी यार आपकी तो
Sure. So ये सब सोच के I started it. And when I was on board and I started my career, and that time is, I think that it's too late to back off now. At least get a certain level, and then I'm planning to go see somewhere else or
maybe
do
look
something
for other
else.
options.
Yeah.
Okay, but आप जब घुस गए उसके अंदर,
Yeah.
अब आपने पढ़ाई कर ली, आप ट्रेनिंग पे चले गए.
Sure.
What was your first experience and how was it?
So I joined in the time of COVID. As soon as I joined, so people know that, everyone knows that जो भी शिप पे जाते हैं, you get to go around whatever country you are docked in.
दुनिया घूमने को मिलता है.
दुनिया घूमने को मिलता है. ये आप किसी को भी पूछोगे
तो मिलता तो होगा ही यार.
आप if you ask any of my relative, they first they say, अच्छा मर्चेंट नेवी वो 6 महीने बाहर 6 महीने पानी में, that and वो दुनिया घूमने को मिलेगी. So unfortunately I joined in the COVID time, and the COVID time, as soon as I joined, just 1 week after that COVID hit. So I joined in Greece. We went to Russia and Ukraine after that, and total lockdown. Like we are, for 9 months I was on board, and not I didn't step my foot outside the ship on ground for 9 months. So it was very hectic that time, and that was my first ship when I joined. So it was a bit difficult to cope up, because if I had got to go outside and roam around, it might probably ease me out, I believe.
Of course.
But I didn't get to do that. So
Yeah.
that was a very difficult time of my life.
Initial वैसे भी किसी भी relationship में
Yeah,
एक
exactly.
initial incubation होती है.
Exactly.
You get to understand each other, right?
Yeah.
The job understands you, you understand the job. People around you understand you, you understand
But the
them.
personal life does not understand you.
Oh, I know what you mean. क्योंकि
So,
हमारी expectation क्या थी और
Yeah.
हम क्या कर रहे हैं वो
Exactly.
चक्कर हो जाता है. Your experience with seniors, officers on deck?
So the system I told you, it's very frustrating.
Okay.
So वो भी इसी प्रोसीजर से आते हैं. So they get so frustrated कि जो हमने जो डिफिकल्टी सही है ना, वो तुम भी सहोगे. मतलब जो अगर मैंने ये करा तो तुम भी करोगे. So they don't be in this assumption that they're gonna make life easier for you. So I'm very geeky with computers and stuff. So I used to lure captains and all, no. So whenever we are in the port and all, so we have work on deck also. So there's this fling between chief officer and captain. So who will call Hriday now? Actually, I'm under chief officer, but the captain need me for the computers work. So I was with captain only. I'm not going doing some हमारे dusty work. And I'm fine with computer. So
When you're on board,
yeah.
अच्छा पहले तो आप ये बताइए कि इसमें सेक्स रेशियो कैसा रहता है? मेजरली ऑल मैन या ऑल 100% मैन या आर दे women in this trade or
Yeah. They've started to come up, but it's you'd call it a 90 to 10
because
ratio.
parents don't allow a lot of girls to go away from home. Is
Yeah,
it?
it's if you actually go on board and you start the operations when you're on board, so you're not anymore in the uniform. You're only in the uniform when the ship is coming alongside and when you're departing from the port. Other side, other times you're in the boiler suits and work overalls and all that.
Right.
So for girls, it's, I believe, a very laborious job. I mean, if there are some men on board and there's some women on board, then the ratio can be balanced and the work can also be balanced. But this sex ratio is very less in India, but good abroad. Like it's 70-30 abroad.
Okay.
So many female staff they go like going on board.
Women have started
Yeah.
getting into merchant navy. That's good. क्योंकि मैंने तो ये देखा जहाँ पर भी women start entering, the world changes, their opinions change,
Yeah, exactly.
systems around them change.
Exactly.
It makes life easier for both
Correct.
sides of the world actually.
But even now, girls they're coming up. They are even in my batch there were a couple of girls. So they're coming up slowly and gradually, and there are many institutes offering 50% of the fees. So I don't know why this thing occurs. That is, you say that men and women are equal, then you gender sensitize this. So women pay half of the fees of what we pay, but they get paid full for the salaries they work for. So this gender sensitization still
अब यार
exists.
तुम्हारा प्रोफेशन ही ऐसा हार्ड मास वाला प्रोफेशन है, टफ प्रोफेशन है, So they are basically opening a door to women कि भी आप भी आइए. I think you guys can do it. So maybe some door opening has to be done, और शायद इसलिए कुछ relaxation करनी पड़ती है.
Yeah.
Which is fair, I think.
Yeah, probably. I agree to
But I understand about equality. You're right. But equality होने के बाद equality रहे तो अच्छा है. That's equality is another huge topic. बड़ी लड़ाई हो सकती है इसके बारे में, बहुत argument हो सकते हैं. Great. Life on deck, right? I'm going to compare the two, life on deck and life on land. या life at sea और life at land. लेकिन पहले आप ये बताओ कि as a junior officer, what were your duties? What were your working hours like?
So my day used to start at 4 in the morning, and from 4 to 8 in the morning and 1600 to 2000 hours in the evening, I used to keep watch with the chief officer on the bridge.
Watch on deck.
Watch on the bridge.
On the bridge, okay.
When we are sailing. So we used to actually navigate the ship, and by navigation I mean there are any ships around. We used to pass clear of that, and keep well clear of those, so there's no risk of collision, which actually exists there, and safely get into the next port. And there are many things on bridge which happen around, so we need to look after that. Any alarms or any events that happen, and any subsequent actions that need to be taken for that action.
ये हो गए आपके सुबह के 4 घंटे और फिर दिन के 4 घंटे.
Yeah, the same thing we do in the evening. So 4 hours in the morning and 4 hours in the evening. And then after 8 in the morning, I used to have breakfast and all, and then again come for work with the chief officer. So any task or any documentation thing which chief officer need me to do. So we used to do that. And
what are the total number of hours you used to work in a day?
Minimum 12.
Minimum 12.
Minimum 12.
Assigned hours क्या होते हैं? 12 होते हैं?
नहीं. Assigned hours तो आपका जो working hours है, so that smirk on your face, it started coming. So minimum hours of work as per our contract is 8 hours. But you're on out there at sea, okay? No one's coming there to check कितने घंटे आपने काम किया. तो इसलिए आप कम काम करा सकते हो ना. But again that thing, that frustration वाली thing कि मैंने करा तो ये भी करेगा. So they are like what we are paid for, it's 8 hours a day work, and there's some bit of overtime, but we actually work at least 12 hours.
Right. So watch on deck was one job. What are the other different types of jobs on a ship?
Okay, so we need to the ship is all ours right now, and each and everything on ship is needed to be maintained and reported by us only. May it be life-saving appliances, firefighting appliances, any cargo equipments on deck, containers on deck, any refrigerated cargo on deck. So anything and everything that's needed to be taken care of. We need to go take frequent rounds and see whether everything's okay or not. And if everything's okay, there's no job. But you can never say that आपको ship पे कोई काम नहीं है. मतलब ship पे काम खत्म नहीं होता. Any time of the day, you can find out some or the other thing that can be worked upon. May it be chipping, may it be painting, may it be sandblasting, anything that can be done, but the work doesn't end. It's never ending. So even in the 9-month contract, if you go and think that I'll complete each and everything, so that's not actually possible.
How are you guys trained कि जो भी officer है, जिस भी level पे है, first officer, second officer, सबको सब कुछ आना चाहिए? Is it?
Yeah. So जब आप captain बन जाते हो, तब आपको सब कुछ आना चाहिए. But when we start from third officer, okay, then there's a deck cadet. So we learn actually everything in the deck cadet thing. So we are expected to learn, so that when slowly and gradually when you go up, you know everything, as in when you become a captain. So the third officer is responsible for the maintenance and care for the life-saving appliances and the firefighting appliances. So anything, the fire extinguishers, fire hoses, the lifeboat, the rations in the lifeboat. So we according to the length of the ship. So आपने कभी देखा होगा कि एक शिप पे सिर्फ एक ही लाइफ बोट है और कई शिप्स पे 8 लाइफ बोट हैं. सो इट्स द IMO स्टैंडर्ड. IMO इज द इंटरनेशनल मैरिटाइम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. तो द लेंथ ऑफ द शिप डिसाइड्स कितनी लाइफ बोट उसके अंदर होनी चाहिए, and the carrying capacity, which should be minimum 32, and the life rafts and all this stuff. So third officer is responsible for that, and for 8 hours of minimum bridge watch on the bridge. So 8 to 12 in the morning, when me and chief officer, we go for rest. So 8 to 12 in the morning and 8 to 12 in the evening, the third officer is responsible for the bridge watch. And after that comes second officer. So second officer is responsible for all the navigational equipment. and all the bridge basically comes under second officer after the captain, definitely. So the bridge, everything on the bridge, the charts, the radar, all the navigation equipment, anything on the bridge is for second officer. So he needs to update the charts and everything, the care and maintenance on board on the bridge. So that's very second officer. Chief officer is responsible for the care and maintenance of the whole ship. Now आप ऐसे gradually ऊपर जा रहे हो, so you get the whole ship. You have ballasting operations, you have bilge operations, and probably cargo operations also. So the chief officer is overall responsible for everything related to cargo operations and the ship operations and shipboard maintenance. Yeah, and captain is responsible for any of the fuck ups, the all the junior ranks than the captain. Anything they do, it directly affects the captain. So captain always has this bamboo on everyone कि अगर तुमने करा, then you're going straight back home. So the captain is only just looking after कि भाई ये ठीक काम करे. Captain is like the mother and father of the ship. Just overlooking कि अच्छा हो गया and fine. So he just
He has to
signs
keep
and
his eye on everything.
yeah, and he just is there for when the ship comes to a port. He interacts with the pilot. So pilot. If you see in merchant navy, there's this term called pilot. So हर चीज इन्होंने glorify करी हुई है. So pilot is actually a person who knows the local information for that area. So like when we go to a port called Antwerp, it's in Belgium. So that's a very narrow channel, and the seabed is very shallow there. So we don't have much of under keel clearance there. So those people have their own charts, the digital charts. They take an iPad, so they have their own charts and they navigate us through that difficult waters, which we ourselves cannot do for obvious reasons, because we don't know what's actually beneath there and how we should navigate there, because it's the local waters. So the pilot is the person who comes on board and from a certain distance, probably 10 nautical miles from the nearest land. He comes and he gets along us to the berth. So then that's where the captain's role comes. He comes there, he monitors everything, because eventually if anything happens, it's under the captain. If even a pilot takes a wrong decision, it's the captain who will be held responsible for that. If you remember Suez Canal, which happened, the Ever ship, I can't take the name, but that happened. That happened for the same reason, that the pilot was there and the captain was there, so they had some disagreements in between, and the pilot just left the ship. So now even when the pilot left the ship, it's very difficult for the captain to hold back a 400-meter long ship there in that channel, because there's 10 meters here and there's 10 meters here. Yeah, and 60 meters long is your ship, 90 meters long is your channel. So it's very difficult. There's something called bank effect, which and bow cushion effect in the technical terms, which I call. So when you can't, if you assume that the ship goes inside in the channel, so that's not actually how it takes place. So there's this bank, there's negative pressure takes place, and it just sucks it sucks the ship towards it. So it's a very a good chance that you might run aground.
It's a very
Yeah.
risky thing, and
Yeah.
somebody who's technically equipped
Yeah,
should handle
totally.
it. Okay. What's the one job on deck that you dreaded? कि यार ये ना मिल जाए मुझे करने के लिए.
So that would be chipping and painting. And actually I didn't never got it only.
I hate it.
Yeah.
But why menial job इसलिए या फिर I thought it will be the engine room. जैसे हमने वो Titanic movie देखा था नीचे वो everybody sweating and they're pumping
No,
coolant.
actually the engine room guys, they actually work like that. हमसे ज्यादा मेहनत तो वो लोग करते हैं.
Modern ships में भी ऐसा ही है?
Modern ships में भी. Yeah, I took this delivery. I was the part of the delivery team of this 400 meters. That was the world's largest container vessel at that time, April 2021. So even that engine room, there's something called UMS. That's unmanned machinery space. But even though that is there, you need people to take care of that. So it can this AI things and all is coming. So probably ek do saal chalega, but it can never take place. That's what I believe, because anything can happen in the engine. You're not running a Tesla here. It's not a very small engine which can be taken care of, and not on land. If you're in the mid-Atlantic, you cannot go and repair engines there. Before you reach there, the ship is going to topple and sink inside.
Yeah. So what is the best sight on deck that you ever saw in these last 2 years?
And in the sea,
Yeah,
in the northern lights. I saw this green, blue, the turquoise thing. I actually could see that.
yeah. Were you taken by surprise when you saw?
Yeah, I mean, you just see it. Then when you see it, you actually realize, yeah, I'm the ship पे हो. So when you're on board, you're away from family and your loved ones. So you don't give. Yeah. So when you're away from the family and from your loved ones, you don't actually give a damn about what's going on. कि आप क्या देख रहे हो? अच्छा नॉर्दर्न लाइट्स है, ठीक है, स्टार्स दिख रहे हैं, ठीक है। अभी हम यूएस गए, अच्छा स्टैचू ऑफ लिबर्टी आ गया, ठीक है। सो दिस थिंग ना कि मर्चेंट नेवी में है। सो आई टेल यू, अगर आप एज अ क्रू जाते हो और एज अ ऑफिसर जाते हो एंड इफ यू गो एज अ पैसेंजर, दैट्स टू डिफरेंट स्टोरीज। यू व्हाट डू यू कॉल द साइड्स ऑफ द ग्रास, जस्ट लाइक दैट। सो जैसे आप जाते हो तो आपका व्यू पॉइंट ही अलग होता है। अभी आप यू वर्किंग देयर फॉर एटलीस्ट 12 hours, यू टायर्ड, यू आर एग्जॉस्टेड, व्हाट विल वी डोंट एक्चुअली गिव अ डैम, द स्टैच्यू ऑफ लिबर्टी है, except when we go out and last time on my last trip we went outside to Germany. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, very nice.
Beautiful place.
That's one of the nicest ports that you saw.
Yeah, Germany is nicest. It's the specific place is called Bremerhaven, and that's actually heaven. And Los Angeles is fantastic. Houston is fantastic, and Chicago is very nice.
I know
I've been
they're
there.
coming up with a lot of ports in southern India now. I
Yeah,
mean, a lot of ports are being
yeah,
developed. A lot of projects have been commissioned. I know this for a fact because अभी हो क्या रहा है कि the trade, what I read at least, अब आप ज़्यादा बता पाओगे शायद, जो trade है that is moving usually from China to the world, right? अब वो थोड़ा सा dynamics is shifting towards
correct.
our country and there is an opportunity there. और ये बोला जा रहा है कि हम कुछ materials ऐसे हैं, either we'll act as the middleman, as the
Yeah.
holding party and then transferring the goods to other states. एशिया पैसिफिक के लिए बात हो रही है और साउथ ईस्ट एशिया के लिए भी बात हो रही है. So there's a lot of activity going around in the south and they're developing major huge ports, right? So good future for the ports in India then, right?
So what you're saying that all this route comes from, it goes from China. It's originated in China and
Origin
then it
is
goes.
China, correct?
Yeah, but while I'll tell you, I've been there.
Yeah.
China has huge ports, huge, probably, but it's gonna take very long time for us to come ahead of China, even come equal to it.
Do you think the vision is there?
The vision is there, we implementing, and as you said that
Yeah.
we are starting to come up with ports and all.
But we are at a very beginning.
It's
nation.
like it's gonna be at a very slower and you need to be very frequent with it. I mean ऐसे नहीं कि you leave it in between and आप फिर से शुरू कर दो, तो ऐसे it won't work, because I work with container ships. So 99.9% of the containers in the world I'm talking, are manufactured in China. They are manufactured in China, and the mild steel that they use, the material that they use for the making of containers, that's only available there. And even in this time, the COVID times, the prices of the containers went skyrocketing.
They demanded their price.
50, yeah, $50,000 per container. So why it went that way is, you send something from China to Europe, you keep sending, and there's no ship which is coming back to China for obvious reasons, the COVID thing. So all the containers of the world, they are somewhere in other places, in other ports.
Turkey,
Turkey,
Europe,
Italy,
a bunch of
Mediterranean,
places, yeah.
the big ports, Lebanon,
So
Egypt.
they went and they docked there basically.
Yeah, so containers are there, and from moving from here to there, you don't have containers as such. So that's where this prices of containers went
I
skyrocketing.
know there was a lot of delay in the materials moving from one place to another. 3-3, 4-4, 5-5 महीने जो वैसे लग रहे थे, वो 6-6 महीना, 9-9 महीने की dates थी because of non-availability of vessels and of containers.
Vessels are always available, but it's the port that should be free.
Which is
Because-
not क्योंकि containers सारे
क्योंकि
वहाँ पर
containers वहीं पे, and because of this COVID thing which happened, ships were, I myself saw 100 ships anchored outside the port of Singapore in this COVID time, because उधर port पे the operation is going on at a very slower rate, probably just 300 moves a day, like 300 moves the containers comes and at the port, and then you load it.
Yeah.
But at this time, this is very crowded with the shipping thing, and there are ships berthed outside, and the people are there at the ship. So many people were stranded in this time that they were not able to even get home.
Yeah. भाई आप मुझे एक बेसिक चीज़ का डिफरेंस बताओ यार, मर्चेंट नेवी में नेवी क्यों लगा है, जब क्या कुछ सिमिलैरिटीज हैं?
सो नेवी सिर्फ इसलिए लगा है क्योंकि नेवी मीन्स समथिंग रिलेटेड टू वाटर. सो वी
एंड देयर इज अ शिप.
yeah, and there's a ship totally. So that's how this navy thing is coined. Otherwise, there's nothing, and actually, it should be the merchant ships. It should be called, or merchant people. It should be called. But this navy thing, I don't know, because navy is like Indian Navy. You armed forces. You
Yeah.
actually go on that battleground and you do. But it's only because even that fisherman is in navy. No, in Gujarat he goes to fishing. He's also in navy then. In fishing navy then. So you should also get a uniform.
डू यू हैव दैट डिसिप्लिन, नेवल डिसिप्लिन जो हमारा नेवी का रहता है, वो क्या हमारे मर्चेंट नेवी में?
I'll be very frank with you, but इतना नहीं रहता.
So it's an easier job. It's in terms of keeping that military discipline over.
Yeah.
But you're wearing a uniform and you're an officer and there's a rank.
Yeah. That's
Structure तो वैसा ही है.
yeah. It's there, but it's a bit less stricter than the armed forces.
People who get into it, like you got into it saying कि यार मुझे करके दिखाना है, right?
Yeah, totally.
Right,
I
and
was very rebellious.
What
when
would you
I-
say to kids at 18 or 17 trying to think about this? What should they first check and then how should they decide to get into merchant navy?
So first of all, I'd say that आप अपने facts, you get your facts right. That how is it gonna be? Are you wanting to do it? Are you willing to do it? But because if you once you come into it, it's very difficult for you and probably your parents to take you out of that. So एक बारी आप आ गए, you give a second thought and see if you can do something else. Then if there's nothing left, then okay. I'd
अच्छा,
say.
is it? जब कुछ बचा ही नहीं तब
Yeah,
करो?
totally. Because I won't recommend, because there are many things coming up here outside when you're in land and at sea. But the only thing I love about sea is that you never get sick. Yeah,
Really?
even my
Seasick,
whole
homesick? No?
I mean, you get a bit of homesickness, seasickness. Some people tend to get it, but my chief officer said me कि तू तो ship के लिए बना है.
नहीं,
Because
आप कोविड के टाइम पर शिप पे थे.
yeah,
You didn't fall sick once?
no, not at all. We went to Italy. When Italy mein the number of rising cases were there and people were falling off, we went there, and trust me, this is all in news. We went there and I saw with my naked eyes that people are roaming in their yachts and around the port of Italy. There's a port called Genova, and one is Venice, and another is Ancona. So people are around the beach side. The coast is full of people. They're sunbathing and everything is going on. And the people are like
ये उस टाइम पर जब इंडिया में लॉकडाउन लगा हुआ था?
exactly 2020 something June mid.
June mid?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've never felt sick even once on the ship. And as soon as I come here on land, I get sick at least 2 times in 3 months.
Humans have infested the land, है ना? जब हम सारे हम यहीं पर हैं तो sea is healthier right now क्योंकि अभी वहाँ पर लोग कम है अभी. sea में.
Look, and the fresh air, the
Fresh air is on.
air is getting concentrated
Yeah.
and coming directly. So.
Have you had an iceberg moment?
No, never.
Okay.
So we've never sailed in ice regions, and those are special ships now. Before, like Titanic actually hit with an iceberg, but now there are special ships which are called ice dredgers, which actually go only in that places where there are ice. So those are called ice class ships. So only that ships go there because they can break through the water easily. They have a structure like that. If general ships go, they can can be.
So you're saying
harmed.
safer ships have been built up?
Yeah.
Modern tech is there.
Yeah.
They're helping the ships sail.
Totally.
Great. आपने upcoming careers के लिए लोगों को advice दे दिया अगर if somebody wants to choose this career. One thing, okay, आपका initial incubation was tough, right? Like you said. But अभी क्या scene है? Ship पे camaraderie है, people are friendly around with experience.
Now, before when I went, people used to tease me like, you'll be charged for electricity, you'll be charged for internet, and you will be charged for using the laundry also. So they made a fake bill for $100.
You were ragged.
Yeah, I was like indirectly I was ragged.
No, that's not
They used
bad.
to send me bills, $100 bills at the month end, and they used to give me your electricity and your laundry bill. I'm like, what the shit is this? You told me electricity is free, so I got mocked up for that also. But as and when you get inside something, it gets easier, and people understand that it's gonna be very difficult to fool you. So लोगों ने they stopped mocking because they know that this person is serious for work.
Actually, I believe tough love works. तो जैसे आपने शुरुआती में आपने हार्डशिप देखी, now you're prepared for it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, at that time I did not realize ki what I'm going through. It was just that some of my near and dear ones, they wanted me to come for this and just do this, but it it got difficult that time. But after that, it was when I saw that on my first ship and my second ship and my third ship, the view of the people got changed. And at my last ship, if you compare with my first ship, so people know that he knows the job, okay, and it's with all the ranks. So me with captain, me with someone junior, so he knows that आप इसको पागल नहीं बना सकते. You cannot fool him. You can tell that this job is going to take 6 hours. Man, this job is going to take 6 minutes. If there's something, if there's someone working with me, if I've told him to do that job and he tells me, okay, इसमें तो 3 घंटा लगेगा. So I know that that job can be done in 10 minutes. So that guy is bragging for that, and you actually know. So that's when your work and experience comes to play. And for all ranks, that's valid. So it was probably difficult, but it's, that the polishing gem is there.
Did you जैसे हमारे यहाँ usually bachelor's degree में we go to a college. You had a college life?
Yeah. So
Which was short, I think. It's not a
it was
full
it
4
was
year or
yeah,
a 3 year
it
thing.
was very short, just 1 year. So
Do you think you missed that kind of a thing?
no. I don't even want that thing. But that's just mandatory training, and there are many institutes in India which if you go on websites like DG Shipping, there's a website as the official DG Shipping, you get to know the institutes which are there. So it's easily to find out. But those institutes are there, they conduct courses and all, and my course was for 1 year. But I won't call it a college. Yeah, college is you have girls and all.
Yeah, you have social life.
Yeah. But 1 year I've spent with boys only. What kind of college life you expect? That's
Are you
not
dating somebody?
No, not at the moment.
Girls,
I'm
if you're
cut off.
watching, this guy is
No.
available.
I'm totally free from all this.
Okay.
After all these years,
Yeah.
facing the extremities of being at sea.
And how old are you?
I'm 23 right now.
And
I
you've
just turned
spent
23.
5 years in this.
Yeah.
So at 23, people start their journey. आप 5 साल एक certain journey में already हो, and you know a bunch of things about it.
Sorry to interrupt. So मुझे ना एक डर था. Like I was a good table tennis player. I played it professionally, state level. I was a table tennis player. After that, I went into theatre and acting.
Okay.
So for some undue reasons, I did not get to pursue that. And I was like, I'm getting very late in life. And what I wanted in life, the only this thing was there which I could get there so easily. Like I'm a big fan of Lucky Ali. You know Lucky
Yeah,
Ali?
of course, man.
So I'm a big fan of Lucky Ali, sir. And I've met him at least 8 to 10 times.
Really?
And he is a humble person. Like his whole team is a humble person. And I meet him, and there are many cons. There are pros and cons always. So the cons I've told you. So I got to live the life I wanted to. Like going to all the states in India. I've just watched one concert in India, in Delhi for Lucky Ali. All concerts I've gone to that state, especially to watch that concert and to meet him and to get something autographed, probably a record or a speaker, anything.
अब जब इतनी बार
But-
मिल लिया तो first name basis पे तो आगे हो गए यार तुम उनके साथ.
Yeah, totally. He recognized me, and I was so glad. He asked me, when are you going back to your next sale?
Oh wow.
So I was very happy when this happened. So all this, so you get to live and experience new things, which you only probably get to do with this, an early thing. But they 5 years ka hai and someone starting here. So when you come at 30, it's gonna be more or less equal. Yeah.
When you meet your friends from school or people in your society, in your colony, and when they, of course, they know, right, that you're in merchant. When they first found out, what was their reaction like? Was there a lot of respect there? अरे यार तो merchant navy कर रहा है या फिर कैसा था?
Yeah, so I come from a Punjabi family.
Okay.
If you are asking for friends and family both, right? Relatives and all.
Anybody?
So the first reaction we were having, I remember we were having a dinner at with our relatives, very close relatives, and we are having a dinner, and in Punjabi, everyone we are Punjabi families. So as ship te kithe jayega? He cannot go, and ऐसे बसदा थोड़ी है, ऐसे जा ही नहीं सकते ship पे. So all those were like कि it was a big thing for them कि ship पे जाना, and it's next to impossible kind of thing. So that made me more rebellious.
Now that you've done it,
Yeah. So I proudly go on, and they're
you get that
they,
respect in the family.
yeah, definitely. They know that now how he is and how
And
I've
plus you're
changed.
away for like 6 months, 9 months, and मुंडा कह रहा है यार मिला तो दो.
Yeah,
ऐसा scene है अभी.
totally. Yeah, that's
How ही
it.
कब मिल रहा है अभी? Oh
Yeah,
यार
yeah,
कितना वो scene है.
Yeah.
Very nice है चलो. Your friends will be waiting. अच्छा next कब वापस आ रहा है, correct? So you got a good social circle.
Yeah. So
Chalo,
they
good.
always, because when I'm on the ship, the only place I can be is on Instagram and see their stories. So when I come
With
back,
paid internet.
yeah. So you talked about this. So there are several companies who give free internet. Mine is one of them. We get free internet, but there are many companies who charge $1 for every 5 MB. $1 per
Wait,
5 MB.
I thought you were joking. I thought you
No.
people messed around with you saying that.
No. For this, I'm not messing with you. That's actually the thing. There are companies which charge $1 per 5 MB, or even if they're giving it for free, they give 300 MBs for 1 month. So how do you expect
Limitation of data.
Yeah,
300 MB per
Yeah.
month.
300 MB
That's
आप
it.
यूज करोगे, आपका वो एग्जॉस्ट हो
वो
जाएगा.
आधे घंटे में एग्जॉस्ट हो जाएगा.
अब मैं तो 5 मिनट में कर दूंगा. So that's how it goes. So
We are still limited for resources, huh?
very
Yeah,
much, very much.
Okay. Chalo. Anything last that you want to say to people who are listening?
So whenever you coming into this field, or when you think of this, so you should actually, there are some people who say that, but you should actually respect seafarers, and whenever you think of joining this field, think twice, think of your options, and if you think that this is the job for you, just go for it.
Talk to somebody who has an
Yeah.
experience in this and then
Yeah,
decide.
yeah.
For which, what we'll do is we'll share your information in the video. Let's see if people reach out.
Sure.
अगर किसी को कुछ-
Anything, I'd be happy to help.
Great. अगर आप लोगों को मर्चेंट नेवी करियर्स के बारे में, या if you are interested in it and you have specific questions, you can always drop in the questions to Hriday. I will share his contact info, his email ID or his Instagram or his LinkedIn with you guys in the video description. You can always comment in the videos. You can always comment on Instagram. We'll be posting some shorts and reels on both the platforms. You can follow me at the specific ask, and you can message me there to reach out to him. If you have any questions, you can always share to us. We can be a medium to reach out to him. Thank you, Hriday,
Sure,
for being here.
My pleasure.
I wish you well for your next journey.
Thanks a lot.
And I'm sure as a young man, when you started at 18 and you started wondering what you want to do in life, I think you have a clear path in front of you. So
Yeah,
all the best, and
okay. Thanks a
wish
lot.
you the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I will wait for your comments, and I will wait for your follows on Instagram. You can email me at thespecificask@gmail.com. And again, like I mentioned, my Instagram handle, which is at thespecificask. Follow me there and reach out to me. Thank you for listening in. Thank you.